All right, and we should be recording right now. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's session. This is the session for the Google Educator Group of Louisiana. Thank you all for taking time to be here with us today. My name is Wiley Brazier V, and I am your GEG Louisiana leader. Those are a few of my badges, Google certified, things of that nature. We also have with us Tyler Colson, who is one of our GEG Louisiana captains here. I do appreciate her support. And then we have a special guest here today. His name is George Barcenas. But before we get to him and introduce George, we want to make sure that you are aware of our website and everything. You can find out more information about Google Educator Group of Louisiana at geglouisiana.com. And we have a variety of resources there, including our past webinars that you can watch on demand, and then you can register for future webinars there as well. Today, I have a special guest of honor here, and he's laughing right now because he sees this picture. I've been knowing George for a while now, and he played a joke on me the first time on this picture. This is our first time hanging, but we're not going to go there. But today, what we're all going to do is he is going to, if you don't know who George is, he is an awesome keynote speaker. He facilitates awesome sessions all around the country, and he is just the man, okay? If you have not heard him before, you are definitely in for a treat, and you're going to learn something. Many people think that they know about whatever it is that the session is, like, this is leveraging YouTube for distance learning. And so you probably think you know YouTube. I'm sitting here because George is here, and I know that I'm going to learn something as well. So George, we do appreciate you. Personally, I appreciate you taking time to spend with us today and to put us up on a few things. And so I am going to stop sharing my screen and allow you to share yours. And I'm sorry, I forgot to, everyone, sorry about that. We have our people from Argentina back again. I'm sorry. If you would go ahead and drop where you are from, where you're coming in from. I'm here in Louisiana. George is in California. If you would drop where you are, Los Angeles, Ohio, awesome. Argentina, if you would drop where you are checking in from today into the chat, that would be super awesome. And George, and I know George is probably saying, this is the most that I have seen Wiley talk, period.
No, Wiley, I know you. I know you're a gentleman. You are a showman. So I know. I love watching you work, man. I love it. So I'm so glad you put that picture up, man. You were. I'm so sorry that photo. So I'm glad you didn't show what I did to it. But I'm gonna tell you that Wiley from the get-go, he is a true gentleman, and he's always letting me have fun with him. So when he asked me, do I want to speak to this group? And anytime Wiley asks me, do you want to? I always say yes, because Wiley's involved in everything. I don't know if you guys know who Wiley is as a person, but if there's something to do that's good, he's in it. So I want you to know that I'm doing two for him. And the reason I'm doing two for him is because I know right now he's doing stuff. And I know right now this video is being recorded and it's all for you, but it's also for anyone you can share it with or for you to come back to, because here's my whole process. I'm going to tell you that I only know a small part of my universe. I only know a very little part. I don't know how we're going to do this whole online learning. I don't know how we're going to do this distance learning. I don't know what's going on. All I know is that a lot of my teachers feel like this. They all feel like right now, I don't know what to do, how do I get to the kids, how am I supposed to reach out to them, and everything just feels like we're trying to figure out. And so all I want to do today is just be your flashlight. I want to be your flashlight to point you in directions, to give you ideas. And all I want you guys to do at the end is to feel like this is going to be a birthday. This is going to be a birthday party, and we're going to celebrate, because everything I'm going to give you is for free. It's all there for you. And I'm going to tell you that it's easier than you think. And so all I want to do is, how can we leverage what we do with video already with the simplest of things? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to be, and I know you guys are all different fans, but LeBron, for me, he kind of does it all. He's a jack of all trades. And that's what YouTube is. So right now, whatever fan you are, whatever you want, I just want you to know, I'm going to try to make sure you know the way. And so I'm going to use Baby Yoda as my co-pilot, and we're going to get going, and I'm going to share my screen to kind of get you guys going on what I'm going to show you with. Now, remember, I'm an interactive presenter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you in a couple different ways. One of the first ways I want to do is I'm always going to share everything I have. So I'm actually going to share my screen, and I'm going to make sure I can share my audio, because sometimes when I do this, I don't have everything. You guys need to hear everything I'm going to share. And then Wiley, if you would make sure when I share a video, if they can't hear, let me know right away, because I know one of the things that might be weird is I'm using my AirPods, so I can pull them out, and I can make sure that there's audio that I want people to hear, that they can be a part of that. The other thing that I like to do, and this is kind of like, and I'm just going to tell you right now, this is kind of a hack, is I like to put myself on the screen as a human mouse. So I use a program called Screencastify, and it's just a screen recording program. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add myself to the screen. So I'm going to hit record, and I know this has already been a recording, but really what I really want right now is I want myself on the screen. So right now, here I come. So right now I'm on the screen. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it so that I can move around and point things out to you guys, so you guys can see where things are at. So this is something I do with students already when I do this, is that this is like my human mouse. And this is something the kids really like when I do this, is because I'm on the screen. Instead of being in the corner, the voice of God, I'm actually talking to them through the camera with me being on there. And then the other thing I like is I can tell you where to point or what to do, all this stuff, because I'm on the screen. So I can show you at the end. I have a couple tips for you to use that for, but the whole point is, how can I interact with my students in this online learning? Now, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to come back a couple times for you, but my session resources for this are right down here. It's a bit.ly. So bit.ly, YouTube to all. So right now I want you to know YouTube to all is the point of this. So I'll come back here again, but this is where the session resources are for today, so that you guys can have it all. I'll come back at the end again if you don't get it, or if Wiley has a link to it. It's just a bit.ly. So bit.ly, YouTube, and then the number 2, and then all is where the resources are. And then I'm going to cover everything that's in here, and then show you where all the buttons are for everything on that. And again, Wiley at any point can stop me and tell me to slow down or repeat that, because this is an interactive session. Now, let me make sure you guys can see, and if you guys saw, it's right down here, but let me make sure you guys see a little bit of what I want to do with you guys today. So right now, this whole session resources stuff, it's all about the process of YouTube, leveraging the videos that we use with our students in a way that it's a little more interactive, and for me, a lot of times a little more engaging. So right now, I'm going to tell you that the thing that I believe in when we're doing this is this whole concept of us not only sharing information, but also us knowing the power there is in video. So right now, this is the little icon Bitmoji that I made. My name is George Barcenas, and I'm a technology coordinator. So my job is to help teachers learn how to use technology in the classroom. But originally I was in the classroom. And one of the things that pulled me out of the classroom was this whole concept of what can we do to engage teachers to help them use technology with their students. And I never knew this was going to happen. I never knew we were going down this path where we have these issues that we're going through right now. But this is where I feel like some of those skills I learned, I just want to share. And so the one that I'm going to cover is a couple different ways. I want to make sure that you guys, when you guys look at YouTube, when you guys look at things like this, how do I use YouTube in my classroom? That you think about, it's not just a video platform. It's something that I can use to engage students. And a lot of times is, do you even know what's out there? And I want you to know that sometimes when people think of YouTube, it's never a positive thing, because they always think about all the videos that are out there that are bad. And I totally understand that. YouTube is a huge resource, but that means there's also the balancing act. And a lot of that has to be of what we give to our students. how we give it to them, and how we can engage with that. Now, I believe in a very simple process. I believe in the rule of three. So the rule of three is this. When my wife, and you guys, if you guys have husbands or kids, usually this is what happens. When my wife says George and she gives me instructions, the first time I didn't even hear what she was saying. I had no idea she was talking to me. So the first time I'm like, what? And I didn't know. The second time she says my name and gives me instructions, then my brain registers that, oh, wait, something's happening. I should pay attention. But the third time is when I'm finally listening. So what I'm going to do with you guys today is I'm going to make sure that I share the information without any expectation that you know what I'm talking about, because I want to show you. And if you can watch me the first time, the whole concept's to show you. Then I'm going to walk you through it. And then the third time I'm gonna do it, I know you're finally listening. So I know for me, most of the time, when I have my own three boys, when I talk to them, I know that it's the third time that they're actually listening to me. It's the same thing with students and with teachers. The first time, overwhelmed. Second time, okay, where are you clicking? The third time is when they're finally ready to listen. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not only talking to you right now, but I'm talking to the camera, to the future you, as you guys come back to this recording and go through this process. So if you're wondering why I repeat myself a lot, is because I know that some of this stuff might be new to you. You just need to have your eyes open to what the possibilities are. So the rule of three is one of the things that's helped me a lot as an educator. Now, I want to make sure you guys understand why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I'm doing it because of quotes like this. So Disneyland has a quote, it's their mantra, that says it's not the magic that makes it work. It's the way that we work that makes it magic. So right now I want you to think about that concept. It's not the magic, it's the way that we work. So right now I'm going to tell you what we're going to focus on today is making sure we understand that it's not the tech that makes it work. It's the way that we work with tech that makes it magic. So right now, why am I floating on the screen? It's not because I'm not even a YouTube really person. I don't really have a big channel that I do my own stuff. I've never put myself in the corner, but when I'm working with students and with teachers, sometimes me being here, seeing my face, seeing my excitement, seeing where I'm pointing, is I'm using technology to do a very basic thing. I'm bringing myself to you. So right now, I'm going to tell you something that I believe in. I don't think the kids right now need more technology. They don't need another new app or an iPad or a brand new device. What they need more than ever is you. So how do we bring ourselves to our students and what we do with intention? So that's why I want to make sure you understand this quote right here. It's not the tech that makes it work. It's the way that we work with tech that makes it magic. So right now, let's use YouTube in that way. So the way that I'm going to work with this, the way that I'm going to go with this is I want you guys to understand that YouTube is like the Starship Enterprise. YouTube is the frontier of all this information. There's so many good videos out there that are being put on every day, but for every good one, there's also one that you have to kind of avoid and go around. And kids usually are going through and clicking on whatever they see that entices them, the next YouTube star, the YouTube video on Roblox or Fortnite or whatever random stuff that's out there. So I want you to think that we're going to go through this whole journey with this lens of knowing that the YouTube is this brand new universe of stuff that we have to find, and how do we use it for us. So the way that I want to leverage it for you guys to understand how we're going to use this is to understand this concept. Is this concept right here, this concept of this plus button. Right now, what I want to make sure is that we're going to start with making a playlist. Now, if you've never made a playlist before, I want to tell you, here's the rule of three. I said the first time, we need to use the plus button to create a playlist. Now over here on the side, there's a video repeating the process to make a playlist. And then right here, as I click on the screen, here's a GIF that's talking about, or a GIF, whatever you want to call it, that is a plus button on a YouTube video. So what I want to show you right now is I'm going to take you to this educational website called YouTube, and I'm going to show you how this plus button can work for us. So right now, I'm going to escape my presentation for a second and show you what these two things are repeating over and over for you. So remember, this is in the future. You can come and watch these two things, but I'm going to show you live what I'm talking about. So right now, I'm going to hit the escape button, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that educational website called YouTube. So I'm going to open another tab, and here in another tab, up here on the Omnibar, which is where you basically do all your searches, I'm going to type in YouTube. Now, once you go to YouTube, you got to know at the beginning, my sons are using my iPad at home right now. So you'll notice I get like Fortnite and the avatar, and I got this random stuff on there because this is my history. So right now you got to be careful that history is not a good place to look for things. You have to look with intention. So right now, what I'm going to do is right now, I want you to know that this is basically like your Google search. This is exactly the same thing. So right now, I'm going to look for a video that I'm going to use with you guys today. It's called Lost Generation. So if you've never heard of this, this is one of my favorite poems of all time. So Lost Generation, if I can spell, that'd be better. But Lost Generation. And then I'm looking for the video that was created 12 years ago that has over 17 million views. Now, what I'm going to do is I found this video that I want to show you, and I click on the video. Now, when I click on the video, automatically it's going to play. So I'm going to pause it right now so you guys can hear that.
I refuse to believe that I can change the world.
So I'm going to pause the video because I don't want to play it just yet. But I want to point yourself something that's really, really important. Right now here is that plus button I was talking about. So right here on the bottom, you'll notice that there's a plus button. Right here, there's a plus button. This plus button has magic. This plus button means that you can put it somewhere. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to tap on the plus button. And when I tap on the plus button, it asks me to add it to. Now, right now, I have all these playlists that I've created for me. And as this video is in multiple places, so you'll notice that it has a bunch of stuff already. But right now, this plus button allows me to create a new playlist, which I'm going to do randomly for this. So right now, I'm going to click on Create a New Playlist. And on this one, I'm going to name this Wiley. Now, I created it Wiley. I hit Enter. And then all of a sudden, you're like, nothing happened. What did you just do? Nothing happened. Well, something did happen. This video now is categorized under the section called Wiley. So Wiley now is a section that I've created, which is a playlist. So if I found all these videos I want to share with Wiley, I would find all these videos I want to put, and I would put it in a playlist. So the first thing is to put the videos in a playlist so that you can find them. So right now, let me add one more so you can see that whole process again. I'm going to come up here to the search bar. I'm going to type in, and let's just do TED Talks. So right now I love TED Talks. I love showing these to the kids. I'm going to do TED Talk, and then let's just see what comes up. Okay, I don't know what this one is, but how racial biases work and how to disrupt it. I don't know it, but I'm going to click on it. And this one is going to be one that I want to share with Wiley. So I'm going to click on it. I'm going to pause it again because I don't have time to watch this right now with you guys. But right now, I just want to show you where I put this to. So right now, see the plus button? I click on the plus button, and on the plus button, it asks me where to add it to. I'm going to add it to Wiley. Now I clicked it to Wiley, and now that video is in there. So now the video has been taken from where it's at, and now it's been put into my organizational mind of where I want it, which is my playlist. So the first step I have for you is to make a playlist. Now, to make sure you guys understand, this is going to be jumping back and forth to show you how I'm working this, is the first step I had you guys do is use the plus button to create a playlist. Now, I'm going to just jump to the next slide, which is slide 7, to show you what I want you to do next. I want you to know, where are my playlists? So right now, I'm going to show you the way that I do it. YouTube by default is supposed to be like this rabbit hole you're supposed to go down and click on the next video, and you spend hours and don't even know how you ended up at that video of a kitten. So right now, what I want you to know is I always go to home, and in home, I go to library. So I want you guys to know that's what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to go back to YouTube, and then I want to know, how do I get to that whole thing where I go home? You'll notice it's not a home button, but here in the corner, up here in the corner, there's what my kids call the 3 pancakes. So right now in the corner, the 3 pancakes, I'm going to click on it. And when I click on it, you'll notice there's the home button. Now I'm going to tell you all the stuff that's on the side right here. It looks like it's all helpful, but a lot of it is clickbait trying to get you down this path that you're never going to find yourself out of. So I always go to home. So I click on home. And when I click on home, I go to my library. So I'm going to click on library. And then I am where my videos go. Now, and you'll notice right now, you'll see, oh, it's right there at the beginning. No, don't fall for that trap. Look, if you look in the corner over there, it says history. Don't fall for that. Don't look at history. First, know that the videos are broken into 3 sections. So when you go to your library, I want you to know right now, your library has 3 sections. It has right now here where it says history. It has where it says watch later. So any video you don't finish automatically goes to your watch later list. And then this is where you want to go. This is your playlist. This is where you're creating your masterclass videos that are specific to what you want to find and what you want to share. So right now, know when we're going we're going to our playlist, and our playlist was created by us. Now, let me just tell you why I think this is important. If you don't see where I'm going with this yet, is that I have a teacher that retired. And when she retired, what she gave as a gift to the next teacher coming in to take over for her is she gave her her playlist, a master list of curated videos that are specific to the content that we're teaching, that have been pulled away from the pile and given as a gem. Think of your playlist as those videos that you would give to a future teacher that would help them. Instead of them looking for this content of these videos to find, you're giving them the best of the best, the hits. And so right now, think of your playlist of being curated by content, being curated by grade level, being curated by those attention grabbers, created by you and given to either your students or to other teachers. So let's go back to that playlist to show you where that stuff is. So now that I've clicked on I clicked on home. So when I clicked on home, I then went to library. And now remember, here's history, here's watch later, but below that now I have playlist. And here you notice, here's Wiley. So when I click on view full playlist, there should be two videos. There should be the one called Lost Generation, and there should be the one about how racial biases work from the TED Talk. And you notice these two videos now are there under my playlist. So right now I want you to know I have playlists for English, for Spanish, for math, for things that I know I need to have them curated, that I can find them at any moment. Because what will happen with YouTube is you'll find the perfect video at 2 o'clock in the morning, exactly what your students need. And then you'll never find it again. You'll be like, where did that video go? How did I find it? What keywords did I use? And you'll lose that tool because so many new videos are being put on every day that you can kind of lose your way. And so right now I want you to think, once it's in a playlist, then what you can do with that is you can give that freely to people, and then they can have that, whether it's your students or other teachers. Now, I want to make sure you know, step 1, make a playlist by using the plus button. Step 2, where's my playlist? By clicking on home and going to my library, I find it. Now, step 3 is the one that's my favorite. Step 3 is when you get to the point where you go, let me go to home, and I'm going to go from home, I'm going to go to library. Step 3 is taking those playlists you have. So you notice right here, I have different playlists, Motivational Mondays, I have my English playlist, Picks Me Ups, all these things. I'm gonna click on Show More because I wanna share a playlist with you. So right now I'm gonna click on Show More, and one of my favorite playlists that I curated for students were these Discovery VR 360 videos. I put 196 together because my students in the area that we're in, sometimes they don't get a chance to see some pretty amazing things in field trips. Our field trips are pretty close. We don't take long trips. And I believe in the French saying that says, to know all is to forgive all. The more that you can experience, the more that you can see, the more that you have compassion for and empathy for, the more that you're going to be able to understand other points of view. So for me, the field trips, these 360 videos that Discovery VR did, is I created a list of things that I think my kids would enjoy. So I'm going to click on the title so I can get the share button to be able to give to you. I'm going to pause this right now. And if you don't know what a 360 video is, a 360 video means you can either put it in a VR headset, or you can use your mouse to move the camera around, and it's a 360 video. To show you why I think these are cool is I want you to know, for my kids, I want them to know about wolves and horses and bears. I want them to understand sharks. I want them to be able to see whale sharks. I want them to see all these different things that are here, that are different experiences that my students can get and can go. Now, I'm going to tell you, I want you to know there's 196 videos, and I'm about to give them to you. So what I need to do right now is, once I've created the playlist, I need to click on the title. So right now, here's the title, 360 videos. And then right now, it's going to take me to that lit place where I had that Wiley video, and it shows me all these videos. But right now, I need to look for this button right here, this shared button right here. So if you guys can't see it, let me zoom in a little bit. This shared button right here, that right now, that means I can do something with this. I can send it. So right now, I'm going to click on this button, and I'm not going to mess with any of these social media buttons right here. All I want is this one right here. I'm going to hit copy. So I copied the playlist. And then I'm going to come up here to the chat. So right now I'm going to give this all to you guys. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go to where the chat is. which I think is under more. Here it is, chat. All right, in the chat here, I'm just gonna paste that playlist and say, to everyone, I've just given that to you. So right now, in that playlist right here, this is that whole playlist I just gave to you guys. Right here, I just gave this whole playlist to you guys. Now, here's the thing. If you're not signed in to your YouTube account, when you play this, when you kind of click on this, it's going to be able to say, whoa, 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 what do you want to do with this? You're not in your assigned account. So want to make sure if you go to YouTube, if you're logged into your YouTube, you click on this and add to your playlist. And now you have these videos and they're all there for you. So I want you to know right now that all I did is I went through YouTube, picked and choose what I think is important for my students. You may feel like you need it also. And then right now, I just give it to you. So right now, the steps I have for you there is once you've done this part, let me get this chat out of here, is once you've done this, once you've created your playlist and you're able to do that, I wanna make sure you know I'm going off my steps. So right now on slide 7, I told you, where's my playlist? I wanna make sure you guys know where these things are. But in slide 8, I tell you, you can share a playlist. Why I think this is important is because video playlists are collectible and shareable. So right now, remember I said you click on the share button. All you need to do is copy this link. Right now, all you got to do for right now for you guys is click on this plus button, and this plus button will allow you to save the playlist under your thing. Now, let me do one quick disclaimer before I go on to the next thing. Is if you get a playlist and one of the videos is not suitable for kids, if you share from teacher to kid, what'll happen is that video will come up as blocked for that student. So just know, and this is what happens, I find most of the time, the older the video is, if the person who created it didn't go back and say that this was safe for kids, that video is just marked as, a normal video. It has to be marked safe for kids for a student account with safe watch on to be able to view it. So just know sometimes the playlist, when it comes to that one little thing, that's happened to me before, where one of the old videos I was using year after year after year from Macbeth, the kids couldn't see it. Nothing had changed. It's just the person who had created it hadn't gone back and changed that. Now that means you just have to look, when you look at the video, it'll always tell you suitable for kids. It's just one of those things that's happened to me lately with the older videos. Anyone that creates content now, you can't create a video now without making it a choice between safe for kids or not. So just know, if you're doing playlists to share to students, know to always check the videos for that. And you can see it at the moment you mark it on your playlist, you'll see it'll tell you it's safe for kids or not. So just want to make sure that's clear to you guys going through that. So right now, I want to make sure I started off with what I think is important is don't go to YouTube thinking you're going to find the perfect video. Go to YouTube and look for those videos and then make sure you're putting them in a playlist. Otherwise, it's out of sight, out of mind. So step 1 is make sure you have a playlist, and you can have as many playlists you want, as many as you can have. And I'll show you in this video right here. If you go to this video right here and watch that video later on, not now. This video shows you the steps I just did. It'll show you how many playlists I have, because I have it for every subject matter, because it's the way that I create knowledge. Now, let me transition to making sure you know why YouTube can be a path of you going down a rabbit hole. So right now on slide 9, I'm going to tell you, if you're not searching with keywords, you're really making it hard for you. Now, right now I'm going to tell you, this is a repeating GIF right here that's going to go through. Let me actually go bigger so you guys can see it. This is something that I think people don't realize with both YouTube and with Google, is there's 2 things happening. Anytime you do a search, so right now when you're doing a search on YouTube, you'll notice that most of my searches are run-on sentences. So if you watch this little GIF repeating over and over again, I'm writing the longest sentence possible to find the perfect video for my students. So right now I want you to know what I'm doing is called crawling. And I gave right here this little bit.ly Google to YouTube. If you want to go down the rabbit hole of what crawling and indexing is, this little thing right here, you click on it, it'll take you to their website that shows you exactly how the search algorithm works. I want you to know that when you're searching the internet, or basically on Google and YouTube, you first have to start crawling, which means you have to make sure you're crawling, looking for the longest run-on sentence ever to find the video for you. So for instance, if you guys look, what I'm doing is I'm saying science projects. The moment I typed in science projects, it just crawled through the internet and found all these videos on this huge space of all these science fair projects. Once I started crawling through the internet, then I started indexing. Now, indexing is like that library where you were looking for all those, like the right thing as you search. My indexing is my keyword search. So if you notice right now, I'm typing science projects 4, and then I type in 5, you notice it went to 5th grade. When I type in 3, it went to 3rd grade. When I type in high school, it went through high school. And you'll notice I keep on going for that very specific thing I want. So if you're looking to teach a very specific thing, you type it in all the way. Make sure you're putting in not only is what the content you're looking for, but who is it for? What specific thing are you looking for? So for instance, for this one I just did, I think I went science fair projects for high school for students in Canada, because a student in Canada is going to need a whole specific curriculum than one student from Louisiana, a student from California. Everyone has their own specific search algorithm. So know first, crawl the internet by making sure it's long as possible. Once you're crawling, throw your index in there of looking for keywords. So right now, if you're looking for the best way to cook what? Cook crawfish Fort Wiley. And I'm just saying, whatever you want to do it for, know that you're looking specific as possible by using keywords. So right now, if you want to look at this is where I spent a lot of time playing with this. And this is kind of where I started to see that I've always searched this way, but I just thought I was just kind of so random. It's because I do it as a run-on sentence, because I'm crawling the internet and looking through indexing of keywords. So if you've never thought about this before, try it. When you're looking for the perfect video, make the search as long as possible to make sure that you find it the way you want. Now, we have a restaurant out here. It's actually a fast food place that's pretty famous called In-N-Out. So when I talk to my students about searches, I tell them it's like making your perfect In-N-Out hamburger. You got to make sure, do you want onions? Do you want special sauce? Do you want it animal style? Do you want 4x4? Do you want all these specific key things that are keywords that makes it the best burger ever? And that's because you're looking for what you want. So right now, step 1, make sure you have playlists, but I want to make sure you're looking through that playlist through the keyword searches that are specific for you. So right now, this whole thing right here, this repeating, is I want to make sure you plan on this side. Don't ever search again by just typing in science fair projects, because you're going to get too wide of a net. Specific as possible by crawling and then indexing by using keywords. So right now, know this whole thing right here, searching for keywords, will help you in your searches through YouTube. Now, once you have this, I want to make sure you understand why I think this is important. Once you have this stuff all set up, I want to make sure that you think about, what am I going to do with these YouTube videos and these playlists? If you just give the kid the video to watch, especially in this is why I want to leverage this. In this distance learning, giving a kid a video to watch, sometimes it's just asking them to do something without any kind of engagement in it, because it's just another video. They're just watching another thing, and they may watch it or they may not watch it, or you're having to get to too much time of this randomness to get to actually what you want of the video. And so what I want to know right now is, I want you to think of that Star Trek experience I'm talking about. There's a concept called a holodeck on that show. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's very simple. It just means that you can go into this room and you can build an experience in this room of anywhere in the world at any time. It was some cool part about Star Trek. Well, I want you to know right now is the way I share kids the videos is I put them in a program that only lets me show them what I want them to see. So I can edit it without having a video editor. I can share it through Google Classroom. I can give it to them already where they can grab it, only what I want them to watch, and I have to watch all this randomness. So right now, the program that I use is free. So right now, if you don't know this program, what I use is a very simple program called Google Slides. So my Google Slides is my holodeck. Now, the reason I use Google Slides for this is because Google Slides allows me to deliver the content the way I want, because it allows me to edit the video. So what I can do in Google Slides is I can start it and stop it where I want. And I can make sure it's all published for them in a format where all they have to do is watch it. So these next steps I have for you, I am in a demo live for you. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to exit and I'm going to go to that site. Now, if you guys don't know Google Slides, I'm just going to tell you, there's a couple ways you can do this. I can click on the plus button. And actually, let me just type in Google so it looks the same. I have this little cute background back here, and sometimes it throws people off. If you've never used Google, right now, you can come up here and you can click on the waffle and you can go to slides, okay? So if I click on the waffle, so let me click on the waffle so you guys can see it, and I can go through and click on slides. If I click on slides, then I click on new, then I can do that. But sometimes what I do is I just go quicker because I wanna kind of shortcut all this. The quickest way to get to slides is up here, is to type in slides.new. I just want a brand new slide. Let's start from scratch. So all I did is typed in slides.new, and then this opened up. Now let's create that experience. So right now, and all I'm doing is I'm following the steps that I gave you so you guys can see how to do this. So the first step I have for you to do in my instructions is to get rid of everything and only leave yourself with the background. So the first thing I want you to do is to come up here and get rid of themes. So right now, come up here, get rid of themes to give yourself a bigger space. So right now, once I click on this, oh, now I have a bigger space to work with. Now with Google Slides, it's just like PowerPoint. I want you to know that right now, you notice up here, there's not a lot of options. But the moment I click on something, you'll notice that, oh, now there's like text and there's fonts and it's all this stuff up here. Is because I chose something. So if I click on the gray, so this is usually what I tell the kids. If I click on the gray, it gets all rid of everything and it gives me the 4 big ones. So right now, notice here's a background, here's layout, here's theme, and here's transition. What I want to do right now is go to layout, and in layout, all I want to do is choose blank. So I just clean piece of paper, start from scratch. So right now, let me repeat that. If you make any mistakes as you do this, I want you to know that this is called eyebrow back and this is called eyebrow forward. So eyebrow back, as you know, is undo. If I click on it, it'll bring it back. Eyebrow forward, if I click on it, it'll bring it back to what I was there before. So I'm gonna go eyebrow back so you guys can see that one more time. If I click on something, options show up. If I click on the gray, start with the clean slate, I only have the big 4. I'm gonna click on layout and I'm gonna go blank. So start with a clean piece of paper so we can go. The next thing I want you guys to do is I want you guys to be able to change the background. Now the background is so that my eyes adjust to what I'm about to watch. If I'm gonna show a kid a video, having it on a white background is a no-no. It's really hard to watch because your eyes are adjusting from the screen to the white. It's not a good example of putting it on there. So what I wanna do is I wanna go to background, and in background, I'm gonna choose black. So I'm gonna click on background. In background, I'm gonna go to the color, and then in color, I'm gonna drop down to black. And once I click black, your eyes just adjusted. Now, if you're thinking, no, that didn't really make a sense, let me go eyebrow back. And when I go eyebrow back, you should see that your eyes for a second are just like blinking a little bit, like someone turned on the lights at a movie theater. And if I go eyebrow forward, your eyes will adjust and will relax, and it's ready for the best viewing option that you can do. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna insert the video that I put in my playlist that I know is awesome, that I've already watched, that I know that you want to see what I can do with. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to insert. Now again, in my notes, I tell you to go up to insert. And when I click on insert, what do I wanna insert? I wanna insert a video. Now this is the reason I love Google Slides, is if I go up to video, look at the options that automatically pop up. I can search any YouTube video. I can insert it by the URL of what I found from my playlist, or I can insert my own videos from my Google Drive. So right now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on search, and I already know what the name of the video is, and it's called Lost Generation. And I want the one from 2007. So right now, this is the one from 2007, and I'm gonna click on it. And when I click on it, that blue box shows up, and it means now it's ready to enter, and I hit select. And now that video gets dropped into my Google Slides without me having to do anything about download or whatever. Let's repeat that again. So I'm gonna go eyebrow back. I'm gonna go insert video. And then I'm gonna type in the title I want. So right now, Lost Generation, select the video I want. Where do I find that video? It's in my playlist, so I know the title already. I've already watched it. I know these are the ones I want to use, and I click select. Now that's inserted that video inside of my slide without sending the kid to YouTube. Now this is just for me. I'm going to tell you this is just me being a stickler. I always grab the video and I bump it up and to the left, and I pull from the opposite corner and I pull it out. Now I pull it out to where it's almost to the corners, and then I play a game which I call making the cross. So right now, if I pull it, if it's both lines line up, that means it's dead center in the middle of the screen. And if I click off, you guys notice why it looks like it's full screen is because you can't tell the edges. Now, just to make sure, as I'm going through these steps, know that my slide deck, what I'm asking you guys to do in my slide deck, right now, let me make sure I don't, slide 12 and slide 13, you'll notice the instructions here are get rid of themes, insert the video. All these things have videos here to do this. So I wanna make sure I know as I go through this, people are always going, wait, how did you do that? I just want you to know right now that everything I've done, I always insert a video after the third step so that you can always come back. So if you click on play right here on slide 14, it'll just repeat the process of what I just did so you can watch it, because I think this is important and I don't want you to like feel like you're losing all this stuff. Even though you can come back to this YouTube video, I want you to think about this is a great way to deliver the content to the student in a way that they can process it in the way that I want. Now, I want to tell you why I think this is a video editing. When I inserted that video, the moment I dropped that video in, something magical happened. This format option showed up on the side, and I'll show you this in a second again. When I clicked on this video playback, I found these magical words right here, start at and end at, and I found this thing called autoplay when presenting. So what I found when I said this, I was starting to think in my head, wait, this means I can start the video where I want it, I can end the video where I want it, and I can have it autoplay when I present. So here are my next instructions for you. I want to make sure you understand in slide 15, I want to go through a checklist real quick with you. Did I open up a slide with you guys? Check. Did we insert the video and search for Lost Generation? Check. Did we click on options for autoplay? No, not yet. I just showed you where it is. And then we want to start the video at 0 seconds and end it at 50. So right now, I want to tell you, it's a very simple. My wife's a math teacher, so she tells me like, this is basically what the equation you're doing. She says start time plus autoplay. That means when I present the video, I can start it and plus autoplay. That means I don't have to go over there and find it. That means when I give it to the kids, it already starts to play automatically. That's the magic. But the magic is when I end it, I give it a cliffhanger. Let me just tell you something that happens with all TED Talks. The first 5 minutes of a TED Talk, it's the speaker selling themselves. It's them talking about themselves and their book and their organization. And I understand that's very important for a TED Talk, but for kids, you're gonna lose them. So right now, one of my favorite ones is Simon Sinek's Start With Why. And the first 5 minutes of Simon Sinek's video is him talking about him. It's just all about him, and you can lose the kids. So I start the video at 5:07, so it jumps all the stuff that I don't want them to look at, and it goes right to the nitty gritty of what the golden circle is. And then at 7:02, I stop it. I don't have to have them watch the whole TED Talk. Sometimes it's best to give them what the point is without losing them in all this other fluff, things that don't matter. I do this all the time with videos. I don't have to show them the whole thing. I just show them what gets to the point and grabs their attention. So let's do that with the video I gave you. I want to start at 0 and end at 50. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. And when I click on this, here's this video playback option. The start is 0, but I want to end it at 50 seconds. So I'm going to go 0, 0, and then I'm going to change the 4, 5 to 5, 0. Now here's the one thing. You got to select by clicking off the thing. So right now I click off it. That means it's locked in. And then right now, when I click on autoplay, this is a magical thing that's going to happen. That means when I click the present button for the kids, or I share this already in published format, this will automatically play. So right now, and then Wiley, I don't know if you can unmute for this. Tell me if you can hear this, because I don't know if the audio, because of my AirPods, because this next part, I want them to hear what I'm about to show them. Just let me know if this is playing or not. So I'm gonna hit present.
Okay, because on the other videos earlier,
I am part
they
of a
were coming
lost
through loud and
generation,
clear.
and I
Yep,
refuse to
loud and
believe
clear.
that I can change the
Okay.
world. I realize this may be a shock,
Now,
but happiness, I refuse
Wiley,
to
thank you for
believe that I
telling me
can
that.
change.
Now, let me pause this real quick. So right now, I don't know if you guys can tell, right down here, there's a white line right there, white line. That white line means that the video is going to automatically stop at that point. Now, I didn't hit play. I didn't do anything. The video automatically started the moment I went to present. So right now, the moment the video is given to the students in published format, that means they don't have to do anything. It's already there for them. Now, this white line means on the corner over here, this white line in the corner means it's going to stop there. So right now, I want you to know there's magic and power in that moment, that the video is not going to play beyond where I want it to. So when I put it in a Google slide, that allows me to control start and stop. I've done this with Saving Private Ryan on Memorial Day. I wanted the students to feel the anticipation of what the soldiers felt at the moment of landing in Normandy, but I did not want to show them having someone's leg blown off because it's super graphic. So what I want to do is get them to feel, get them to get empathy, get them to understand what Memorial Day is about without getting the parts that I don't want to have them have trauma from, but I wanted them to feel that, well, by doing it in Google Slides, I can start and stop it right before that moment. So just know what we can do with slides is we can start it and stop it exactly where we want it. But let's not stop there. Let's keep on going. So right now, the next challenge I have for you is I wanted to make sure you know, and again, I'm going off my notes. I just want you to know my notes are here for you. In slide 16, I want you guys to know, if you guys go Control C, most of you should know that copies, okay? That's good. Control V, paste. That's great. I had a student once come up to me and say, Mr. B, you're too slow. You're going to give yourself carpal tunnel. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, why are you always telling us to Control C and Control V? He said, Mr. B, why don't you just go Control D? Control D duplicates it. When the student told me this, I was thinking in my head, Control D deletes. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I've never clicked that button combination. So because of that, I was limiting myself that Control D duplicates whatever you selected. You can duplicate a slide, an object, text, whatever you want. Control D duplicates it. So right now, what we're going to do is we're just going to duplicate that slide and not have to do all that work again. Now, once we've duplicated it, I want to make sure now I'm going to start the video at 47 seconds. I want to build anticipation. Most of the time on a TV show, it's called a recap. So at the beginning of The Mandalorian, they recap what happened before because they're building you up the anticipation of what's going to happen now. So whenever I do this in a video, I always give anticipation to get them to get their interests perked up before we go into the video again. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play until the video ends at 1:44. But if you notice the timing of the video goes to 1:45. The reason I stop every video I share 1 second before is that I never show them the ads. Those pop-ups that show up that lets the kids click on other stuff, they never pop up because I stop it 1 second before all that happens. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to go back to the presentation. And then remember up here, I'm going to make sure I've selected this. So I'm going to make sure I click on the slide. And when I click on the slide, I'm going to go Control D. Now you notice there's two copies. This copy is the exact copy of the one above. So if I click on the second one, you're going to notice right now, when I click on the format options, it has the same stuff copied. But this time, I'm going to change it up. I want to go 47. And then I want to stop it, remember, at 1:44, not 1:45, so that a video doesn't go. And then I want to make sure the autoplay is already selected. It's okay because it has it. Now the video will start and stop exactly where I want it. So now you'll notice when I hit play, the video is going to jump to 1:47. So when I hit present, hands off, and the video now starts in the middle.
And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it.
So right now, that video, without me doing anything, jumped right to the timeline that I chose that I wanted the students to have. Now, to show you an example, I gave you an example of what I do with the students. So right now, what I'm going to tell you is slide 17 has the video, the first part, Video slide 18 has the questions I asked the students, and slide 19 has the ending of the video. So let me show you how this looks like, and let me show you this example for you.
I am part of a lost generation, and I refuse to believe that I can change the world. I realize this may be a shock, but happiness comes from within is a lie, and money will make me happy. So in 30 years, I will tell my children they are not the most important thing in my life. My employer will know that I have my priorities straight because work is more important than family. I tell you this, once upon a time, families stayed together. But this will not be true in my era. This is a quick fix society. Experts tell me 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. I do not concede that I will live in a country of my own making. In the future, environmental destruction will be the norm. No longer can it be said that my peers and I care about this earth. It will be evident that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It is foolish to presume that there is hope. And all of this will come true unless we choose.
Now, I know right now some of you guys may be looking at this video and going, why would I ever show this to students? But I want you guys to know what I'm setting them up for. The questions that are on this next part right here. So the next question is the question I asked. Is this true? Is everything that kid wrote for this competition that was you at 50? So AARP asked kids, what do you think the future is going to be when you're 50? So what this kid wrote was fact. All those things he put on paper are fact. The kid's perspective is on that paper. But there's a line that I cut off a little bit, but you guys could see it. And the line says, what does, unless we choose to reverse it, mean? If I can get the kids to stop and think for a second and ponder and embrace that moment to think about, what does it mean? What is the kid saying? Watch that same poem with me stopping it at 47, setting up the anticipation to get them to that cliffhanger.
And all of this will come true unless we choose to reverse it. There is hope. It is foolish to presume that my generation is apathetic and lethargic. It will be evident that my peers and I care about this earth. No longer can it be said that environmental destruction will be the norm. In the future, I will live in a country of my own making. I do not concede that 30 years from now, I will be celebrating the 10th anniversary of my divorce. Experts tell me this is a quick fix society, but this will not be true in my era. Families stayed together once upon a time. I tell you this, family is more important than work. I have my priorities straight because my employer will know that they are not the most important thing in my life. So in 30 years, I will tell my children, money will make me happy is a lie, and true happiness comes from within. I realize this may be a shock, but I can change the world, and I refuse to believe that I am part of a lost generation.
Now, I remember I stopped it right before, no pop-ups. This is the video. No pops up at all. Video is done. It's good to go. Now, I'm going to tell you, if you didn't pick up the way that video is played out, this is something I will show to the end of my teaching career. I will never stop showing this to kids, but because it always draws them into that point. What is this? All this will come true unless we choose to reverse it. All the things that we're going through right now, with all of it, everything that we're living through right now will come true unless we choose to reverse it, unless we choose to change the way that things are put at us and said to us as fact and changing it into the reality that we choose to live in. So when this kid wrote this poem, and I don't know if you guys can catch this, but this was written by Jonathan Reed. It's a boy who has autism. When he wrote this, he couldn't get his words out correctly. So the way that he thought made this poem possible because he thought of it in a different way. His sister is the one who's reading it because of his words and the way that he couldn't get his thoughts out, that he wrote this out, and she's the one who recorded it. This poem finished second in the way that it was formatted. It's too long. But right now it doesn't even matter because it's so powerful in the way the kid did this. Now, all I did for you guys is I showed you in the way that I would share this. I showed you in the way that I would present this, and I want to make sure you guys know that right now, all I did was cut it up. The final step on this one, if you want to just share this video to the students and you don't want them to see it in this format, all you got to do is this. All you got to do at this point is when you're done with the video, please title it. Don't leave it as untitled presentation. But if you go to File to any Google slide, and right now you go File and you publish to the web. So when you go to publish to the web, This will make it look like full screen, just like I just showed you. It will come across like that. When I hit publish to the web, it'll ask me, do you want to start it as soon as the player loads? Start the slideshow? Yes. So right now the slideshow will automatically, actually no, my bad. Don't even hit that. The video will play because we already did it to autoplay. But click on publish. So right now when we hit publish, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to publish this selection? Because now it's going to be a web page. So when I hit OK, it's going to give me the title that I want, which is this right here. That means now it's published. And all I do right here is I copy it. Now, if I open up another tab and I paste it in there, the video will show, the screen will become the whole thing, and it's just gonna autoplay as it goes through. So right, oh, I did have to hit autoplay. I did do that as a mistake. So on that one, when I publish it, I do have to hit that, and then from that point on, it'll go in. But notice right now, the side panel is gone. It's a full screen video, and the kids don't have to do anything. It's given to them. It's coming from YouTube, but I'm delivering it through Google Slides, and that part is all done for them. So right now, they don't see the side paneling. They don't see any of this. The video's already gone into present format. So depending on the age of the kids you're working with, sometimes you can share with them. As long as they know how to push this button, you're okay. But if they're younger, sometimes I just give it to them in published form. The only thing is I would make sure that I made a mistake is when you click on File, Publish to the Web, make sure you click on Start it as soon as slideshow player loads, so that first video can start, and then we're good from there. So right now, that's the way that we go through that in my steps. I want to make sure you know, is that true? That's what we can do in that. Now, I want to make sure this is powerful for me. I want to make sure you understand, not only can I share the video inside a Google Slide, but I can also add audio by using video inside a Google Slide. So right now, I want you to pay attention. If you can't see this, let me scroll over so you can see this. So right now, as I go through this, here's an orchestra playing music. I'm adding the orchestra music to my slideshow that I have over here. So right now, to my slideshow, I have the orchestra music playing with it. So right now, when I click on present, look what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go through, remember this video, this thing that I showed you at the beginning that had this whole thing? Now I'm able to add audio to what I'm doing. Now I know for those of you that are Star Trek fans, I know that is not the correct Star Trek intro. It's the Voyager one, but I couldn't find anything that was good. But this is the one that I wanted because there's something cool about this video. If I click on the video, okay, and right now, since I've already done the editing, if I go through and see the format options, you'll notice that what does format options do? Well, look at the pop-up that shows up. You guys know the one we've been playing with is called video playback. When I click on video playback, look what I did. The conductor spoke for 40 seconds of the song they're about to play. I didn't want that. I want the song. So I skipped his intro and went right to the music because I wanted the music. And that's me just going right into what I wanted. Now to show you how I did that, let me show you what on slide 21, let me show you what I can also do. So right now, what I'm gonna do with this is right now, this is coming from my Google Drive. So right now, this video is from my Google Drive. And what I've done is I've recorded myself watching the video, recording my voice for this thing I was doing for EdTech Team Canada. And I was just doing showing them how we can do this as a voiceover for my Google Slide. So I can use the video plus my voice to do a voiceover over what I wanted to show. But here's the magic. Make sure you have autoplay when presenting. And the magic is this. I'm going to click on it and use the arrow keys to slide it over. And then once I slide it over, the whole trick with this is that you just need to be connecting to the corner. So right now, as I get close to the edge, I'm going to move it. And remember those red lines that I showed you? I don't know if you guys can see, but right now there's a red line on the edge connecting. When I let go, that means it's touching. That means when I go to present, what's going to happen now, as long as it's touching, it's going to play as it's because it's connected to the slideshow. So now I can have my voice along with the music as the voiceover. And I'm doing what I'm doing right here. I'm recording Screencast-A-Phone.
YouTube, the final frontier. These are the voyages of EdTech Team Canada in its 5-day mission to explore.
So just want you to know, this is just another thing to be able to use to play with the tools that are given you with a Google Slide, which is a very simple product to use to put the videos inside. So right now, I want to make sure you know, playlist is where we curate the list of the information we want to show. I want to make sure you're searching with keywords, because in that way you find the exact video that you need. But once you find those things, how do we give this to the kids without just giving them another video to watch? Well, Google Slides will allow me to be able to cut it up, insert questions I want, have maybe voiceovers that I want. I want to make sure you know that that's all tools that you can create, and you don't have to pay anyone else to do it. You can do it. Now I'm going to give you one more, and then this one more is the one that blew my mind. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to just say it right now. I know this is going to be on YouTube, so I just need to say it. I married up. My wife, as a math teacher, the stuff that she does is mind-blowing. And so she is such a shy person because she doesn't think what she's doing is incredible. And I'm always telling her that you have to understand what you just showed me is a game changer. So right now I'm going to tell you, if you've never heard of this product right here called Edpuzzle. Let me go to present screen so you can see it bigger. Edpuzzle has been one of the biggest. I wish someone had showed me this at the beginning of my teaching career, because here's the thing. I'm going to just go through when she was using it in her lessons, and I'm like, how are you getting your students so engaged? Is you can choose any video, and then you can use your magic touch, and you can create it into a quiz, or you can check for assessment, or you can check to see if they even watched it. So right now, Edpuzzle, and I'm going to show you where it looks like on the back end, but Edpuzzle is free. And I'm going to tell you about the difference about the paid version and the free version, but all you really need is the free version. Because right now, let me show you her classroom. So right now, she was going through this. We cut out the names. So you're wondering, why did we cut this out? It's because we didn't want to show the names. But here is, I can see what the kids did on the quiz. I can see when they did it. And just since it's linked to Google Classroom, I can see if they did it on time or when they turned it in. Now, the reason here, this is why this is important, is you can check to see if the students have watched the videos you assigned to them. So it'll see how long they watched on it, how many times they went back and watched a section they might have had problems with, and then to see if they understand the content, because you can make it into a quiz. Now, here's the thing. Here are all the videos that work with this. So right now, all this stuff here, YouTube, Khan Academy, National Geographic, TED Talks, all these things work with Edpuzzle. Now, let me show you where she blew my mind. If you want to know more about Edpuzzle, because right now this session is all about YouTube, but YouTube works with Edpuzzle, is if you want to know what is it, watch this. If you want to know how to use it, this is just a quick tutorial to go into it, but you don't really need all this, because once you see what it does, all you need to do is just create your own and you can get started. Now, here's the thing. This is one of the things. She did an assignment called Copy of the Inner Planets. This is the grade the kid got, 86 out of 100. This is how much percentage of the video they watched, 100%. This is how many correct responses they got out of the questions. So there was 22 questions, they got 19 correct. This is the one that sold me. They spent 19 minutes on this. The reason this is important is because the video is 15 minutes and 20 seconds long. So if a kid ever takes an Edpuzzle and does it in under 5 minutes and the video is 15 minutes long, I just want you to know they might have cheated. So just know this will allow you to see what they do. Now, the moment you break it up into a question, so you see these little bubbles here, when you break it up into the question, once this first question started at 1:32, this created into a section. When she dropped the next question, that is section 2. So you see the kid where they got this wrong, they actually went back and watched it again, because you can see with the sections if they go back and rewatch it. So right now, this is all questions you can drop inside the video. Now, to show you what this looks like, I dropped one in here. So again, working for doing the history of Canada, I went through and found all these multiple choice questions I wanted to use, and I clicked on edit to make my own copy. Now, right now, I can see the question. So this is a quiz if someone else made it. Who were the first Europeans to reach today, what is today known as Canada? And then that question will pop up right here where this bubble is. The kid hits play to start the video. And then right now, the YouTube video, right now you see this is from YouTube, it'll start playing. And when it gets to this point of the video, it's gonna stop. And then it's gonna stop and it's gonna have the pop-up. So now the video stops and asks that question that I said, who were the first Europeans? And because we're on the teacher side, I can see the answer, but the kids can't. So right now, they answer the question and move on. Video keeps playing and it stops at the next bubble, and then it'll give them through the next question that a teacher created or you created, and there's the next question. Now, if you want to make it all multiple choice, it's graded instantaneous. That means the kid gets a score right away. If you want to add right here, if you want to add short answer, that means you have to grade it before the kid gets a point, but it's going to be thought bubble. And then the one I love right now is right up here. This one right here is voiceovers. So you can insert your own voiceover going over the quiz. Now, let me just show you with Edpuzzle. Let me actually get out of here and just show you. Oh, in this video here, all this stuff is here, all this stuff, and I muted it, so right now there's no audio. If you go to the corner, notice right now the whole instructions I'm talking about. If you unmute this, so right now here, I muted it so that way I could talk to you guys, but you can unmute it and watch my instructions. But let me just show you what I'm going to do. So right now, I'm going to exit out of here, and I'm going to go to Edpuzzle. So right now, it's just Edpuzzle. Type it in, edpuzzle.com. And then when I come in here, I'm going to go through and click login. Okay. And if you've never done this before, you would click on sign up. I go through and log in. I'm ready for class. I'm a teacher. I click on my teacher, and then I use my Google credentials to get in. So I use my Google account, log in, pick my school account, and then it's going to go through, register me, and find me. Now, right now, here on the left, if you just want to get started right away, click on curriculum. So when you click on curriculum, you can just look for it. So right now, let's go through, let's look at middle school. So let's look at middle school. Let's look at math. I suck at math, and I know I'm married to a math teacher, but I'm not good at math. So I'm going to click on math. And then right now, let's look at fractions. I always had problems with fractions. Click on fractions, and let's look at division and multiplication. I had a hard time with this as a kid. Division and multiplication, and let's do division. So right now, here are all these videos they're going through. Now, right now, you notice that there's all these videos I can use right here that we go through. And actually, I think my AirPods just died. So let me disconnect my AirPods. Oh no, I have 2%. Okay, so I'm still good. All right. So right now, as I go through, I can go through and pick any of these ones to use. So right now, let's go through. And here's something I'm gonna look at. Right now, this one that says 7 minutes right here, this one that says 7 minutes, notice there's no bubble. This one that says 6 minutes, 5 minutes, and it has 6 bubbles. That means there's 6 questions that were created. So these are all created by different teachers as they go through. So right now, if I click on this one, I can go through it. And then right now, division of fractions. And then what I love about these is when you go through, I can also see, now here's the reason, here's the difference between free and paid for. If you pay for it, everything is private. If it's free, anything you create goes in here. So right now, you'll notice that Anna Miller, Melissa Miller, Kim Hill, all these people here, these videos, because they're using the free version, anything you create will go in here. So right now, notice that everything you go, it's all shared. So right now, know that this is something I like. Now notice they're all using the same video. If I wanted to make sure that I wanted to change it up, I would go to edit. If I just want to use it, I would just go to copy and assign it. And it's linked to your Google Classroom and you're good to go. So right now, go through and you look for it. Now notice right now, Chad is having them answer 6 questions, but Kim has no questions. Why would Kim assign a video with no questions? Well, the reason why is because all she wants them to do is she wants them to watch it. That means you can check to see if they watch 100%, and that's the end of her assessment. All she wants to do is see if they've actually watched it, whereas Chad wants them to actually take a quiz over it. So right now, no, this is a quick way that you can look through curriculum and type it out. Another thing that we have found out, let me actually hit on Edpuzzle. Remember, if you click on Edpuzzle, that's your home button. Another thing you can do is right now, we found this out. One of my teachers just found this out. If I go Wonders, right now for us, our curriculum going through, our curriculum has like Wonders Unit 5, work through question 3, blah, 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 blah. We found out that if you actually look through specific things, whatever curriculum you're using, someone else might be using it all, and they've already created a video for it. Now, here's the thing I love when I look through these. So right now, noting, this is actually, I think this is sometimes you'll find people who created their own videos. So they created their own videos, teacher created videos for their students that you can use to be able to break things out and share it to your kids. So just know, sometimes you'll find as you look through these, there are people that are actually creating content that they're using with their kids, and because they're using the free version, you can use it too. So teacher created content for teachers through Edpuzzle. The final thing I want to show you with Edpuzzle, because it doesn't take you that long to get started, is I'm not from this school, Real Indo Adventist Academy. I'm not from here, but I showed them how to use it. And since nobody had used it before, I just signed myself up as a teacher. And then all of a sudden, once they started using it, all of a sudden 11 teachers got on right away. Because they're all using the free version, all 11 teachers now are here, and that means they can all collaborate on different things. That means all their videos that they create are all going to be there, and you can all use them. So just know right now, this is one of the things about Edpuzzle that is cool and it's free, but just know it's all about shared content. So Edpuzzle, if you've never used it before, it's something that could help us take those videos that you're creating through your playlist and be able to give it to the kids. So right now, I want you guys to know, I know I've gone a little bit over an hour, but I just want you guys to know what is possible. Now, to make sure you guys know, in the slide deck that I have, all the stuff that I go through this, on slide 25 is basically where I'm done. All I have from here is just quick hitters for you. This has nothing to do with the concept of YouTube, but it has with what I'm doing with my face. So right now, one of the things I always get at the end, and I'm just gonna make sure you guys know how to do this, is all this stuff is there for you. How did you do that? People always ask me, how am I using filters like I am? So right now, I pretty much stayed with Baby Yoda, but most of the time, I'm always like when I did the LeBron, how did you do that? I use Snap Camera for these things. So right now, no, if you click on this, it'll take you to Snap Camera. And then right now, when you go to this, I basically walk you to the steps. Click on download. Make sure you read the terms and conditions, hit the check mark there. But when it asks for your email, say nope. And then right now, don't give them your email, but download it for what you need. This doesn't work on Chromebooks. I just want to make sure that's possible. But if you have it, you can use these filters. And all I got to do from here is I just gave you the instructions. Click on next. You have a brand new camera called Snap Camera. Click on next, and then you click on finish, and you're done. Now, once you're there, I want to make sure you know, I always give you a video. Here's a video of me going through all the steps, and then here's where I have all the different filters that I use. So right now, if you want to know that, how you do that. The other question I get a lot is, how do you do this with me floating around the screen? There's two ways I do this. The first way that I usually use it is I use Zoom. But because we're in a Zoom call, Zoom doesn't let me move myself around in a Zoom call. But most of the time, I use Zoom. So I want you guys to know that all I'm doing right now, if I'm doing a normal Zoom, if I'm doing a Google Meet and I'm trying to do this, is I start a fake meeting by clicking on this button. And when I click on this button, I don't join with audio. I click on the X up here and say, nope. I say, no, I'm not going to join the meeting. And then when I do this part, all I got to do, and I don't mess with virtual backgrounds because I use the filter, but right now, all I'm doing is clicking on this magic little button right here in the middle. So if you guys are using Zoom, which I think you are right now, if you guys do this by yourself, start a fake meeting after we're done, click on this middle yellow button, and you'll go from the big George to little George, and you're a floating screen around, and you're able to move yourself around. That's my favorite one because Zoom is actually one that's pretty clean. The one I have to use for this one, the one I had to use with you, was this one right here called Screencastify. And my steps are here for you. Right now, all you got to do is record your desktop and make sure you embed your webcam. And instead of you being in the corner like this or in the corner like this, grab yourself and start moving yourself around. The other thing I didn't do with you guys that I normally do with my students is I can actually make myself bigger so I can talk to the kids this way. And so right now, this one, I can go through and talk to the kids and get all excited. I can make myself bigger. And you can do that with Screencastify by grabbing the corner and pulling out. Now, once you embed the webcam, just hit record. Now I have a recording of this, but it's better quality and I can move myself around the screen. So hopefully you guys saw how I use that for engagement, but I'm able to interact with the students that way, okay? Now, if you're like, wait, George, I don't want to use that with my video. My computer can't do that. Let me give you two final ones and then I'm done. The two final ones I have is the one that Wiley was talking about. And I should have put it on this one, but I didn't think about it. But right now, what you can do with Mug Life is Mug Life will allow you as a app on your phone. So you can put this on your phone, and on your phone, what you can do is take any photo and make it come alive, because it adds anchor points to people's faces. So when I'm talking about George Washington to my students, instead of being him, some old guy that lived 1 billion years ago that's on a quarter, I can actually talk about who he was as a person and what he did. Right now, I can also talk about when I talk about my family. So when I use this with my family, this is me. And right now, my sister, my brother, my mom, and my dad, all of them are moving a little bit so that they have a little bit more of engagement for my students, because it's a little bit like a Hogwarts where they're like, ooh, what's going on? And they can see the whole thing. I can also do it with historical figures. Right now, I know why the Mona Lisa smiles. So if you don't know who the Mona Lisa is, I know why she's smiling, because right now her mind is blown with what Edpuzzle and with Google Slides and YouTube. She now is looking at what we can do now and how we can engage our students. And then I just literally found this out. You can also do this with statues. So anything that has a face, you can make it come alive, and it's all there for you. So Mug Life allows you to do that. Are you amazed? Right now, I have someone else's face, but right now, this is a guy I work with. So he played hockey, and he always looks like he's 13. So I took this photo, and he's agreeing with me every single time I do this presentation. He knows that I'm good, and so right now, he's with me. So what Wiley was talking about, that photo, I had Wiley agreeing with me. So I just want to make sure you know you can do this with anyone's face. And then the last one I have for you, it's called My Talking Pet. My Talking Pet will allow you to make, well, supposedly it's supposed to make any animal talk, but what if we used it for education? Now, I'm going to show you, I have a lot of Spanish speakers in my district. So what I do is I take the writing and make it come alive.
I have spied for you. I lied for you. Put myself in mortal danger for you. Everything was supposed to keep Lily Potter's son safe. And now you tell me I've been raising him like a pig for slaughter?
So what I've done before is I have the character speaking in Spanish. It's my voice, or I've had the writing in Spanish. So whatever way you're looking to engage the student, you can do it that way by using these two products. So just know right now, those are all things there for you. And then I have a quote at the end of this one, but I just want to make sure you guys have all that stuff there for you. Now, here's my thing. If you feel like, hey, I need to know more. If you want to know more, whatever, I want to make sure you guys know that this is here at the bottom. At the bottom right here is my email address. My email address is there for you, just so you guys know that if you have a question or you need help, know that what we're about to go into, this whole new teaching realm of how we're going to do this to reach your kids. I don't have all the answers. I only have this much. And the only small thing I know. So I know the more that I share, the more I get back in back. The more I talk to Wiley, maybe I'll make him better, but he always makes me a better person. So all I'm doing with this whole resources and sessions with you guys is I don't know everything, but I just know this much. So know that I'm here for you guys. If there's anything that I can do for you, please let me know. And hopefully you guys learned at least one thing that you can use, because that's the whole goal of this. And so I'm going to turn it back to Wiley. And then just so you guys know, hopefully you guys got something, but know for me, it's all about what we can do with our students. So hopefully you guys have figured something else out. And if you guys can share it with me, I'd be more than willing to listen to what you have to say. So thank you for your time. And then hopefully at least a couple of you guys are still with us, but hopefully you guys learned something new. And then I'm going to go into my spa.
Ooh. Ooh. All right, George, man, awesome, dude. As always, you know, everyone, if y'all could give some snaps or something down there as a thank you in the comments, you know, George, that is why I always am happy to connect with you, because, you know, as it says, iron sharpens iron, you know, and so I really appreciate you and all that you do, the passion that you have for this work and for kids is just amazing, you know. And I'll tell everyone this, you know, I have spent some time with George, and I have learned just so much just in general. And so I always, when he said that he wanted to, that he would accept being able to do some things for other educators in this platform, I just had to, you know, make sure that we were able to take him up on that piece. And that's also why he's going to be back. Awesome. So I am going to share my screen one more time. Any questions? Yes. Awesome. Yes, thanks for sharing. Super cool presentation. Awesome. Those are just some of the comments that we have coming in. I am going to share my screen one more time here as we close things out. And so we have some more professional development opportunities, some more of these digital learning webinar series. Actually, on this Wednesday, we have a CS First session that's happening. The link to register is right there, and I will drop it into the chat. It's a 90-minute session that you will be able to learn to teach kids how to code without having to learn code yourself. And so I'll just drop that into the chat. Another session, the next session that we have is yours truly. And I did pick, I would pick a doggone time to follow this young man, George. I might have to switch that. I might have to put someone else first. But, um, he discussed Ed Puzzle and showed you all Ed Puzzle. We're going to go through some of that during this session as well, but we're going to do a few other things as well. So that is going to take place on July 2nd, which is next week. We try to do one of these every week, at least for a while, at least until school starts, at least, and till we see exactly what that looks like. But then we've got some other phenomenal presenters that are coming as well. We had Sarah Kiefer, who is an innovator in my cohort. She's Team Power Up. So shout out to Sarah there. And she is going to be back with us doing Working Together to Support Our Students. So that is a session that's going to be for parents and students. And so we want to make sure that you know about that. Jessica Williams is my coach, my innovator coach there. And so she'll be doing It's News to Me and how to get a student news show started. So all of these are available for registration on the website. We've got a couple of more coming here. We've got Louisiana Educator, originally from Louisiana. That's Martine Brown doing 5 tips for instructional coaches. George will be back doing 0 to artists with Google Drawings. And if you enjoyed today's session, you will definitely not want to miss that. And then we have Frederick. He is going to be coming back and doing some things regarding Wakelet. And we are always open to everyone to submit. We want to learn from everyone. I again appreciate George taking time to come. So on our website on geglouisiana.com, you can feel free to submit a session, or that's also where you actually get active in our GEG as well. That is the website. If you use this link, which I'll drop that one. Can I drop that one? I think I can. I'll put that link into the chat, and you can actually get a certificate of attendance. I know some people need those for CEUs and continuing education credits and things of that nature. And so you can go ahead and fill that out there, and you'll get that certificate. It also allows us, because we report these things to Google, our attendees and how many people watch it even on the replay. And so I definitely would appreciate you putting your information there so that we can accurately report this to Google so that they can see what type of impact that we are making as well. I think that is really about it. I do just want to share. I'll click on the GEG Louisiana website just to kind of give you a quick little overview on it. So when you come to it, here is our front page, and we've got George right there today. If you click on any of these images, it takes you directly to where you can register. So those of you probably clicked on this image and it took you directly to the webinar registration page for today. We also have two other things that I want to show you. Three other things. Right down here at the bottom, we have added this is where you can submit a session or get involved, things of that nature there. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't. I need to update that. Thank you, Monica. I will do that in just a moment. So just keep that link up handy and refresh it in just a minute. I forgot to add on this one. Okay. Then previous recordings of previous webinars are listed on the next page when you scroll down. Videos of the past webinars are here, so you can be able to see those. This is also where George's will be. And then we've added this resource database. These webinars, shout out to MyPD 24/7 for sponsoring some of these webinars, but this is a database that they have, and on it, you can actually, there are about 2,300 items here, but you can actually search and get a variety of resources there as well. All right. So look, again, I appreciate all of you. Thank you again, George. You are the man. He is George with a capital G, and that stands for gold. He is golden, I tell you. So I appreciate you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If no one has any questions, if you have questions, feel free to put them into the chat at this time. And while you still have time with George, but we do appreciate your time now, and we're gonna sign off. And just so you all know, George is about 2 hours ahead of us in California, so he stayed up in order to be with us. So I appreciate you, my brother, all the time, all the time, all the time, man.
Wiley, we're the other way. You're 2 hours ahead of us.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, but I am
It's
missing
been a
dinner. But
long day.
no, it's all right. I knew when you said.
Look, I was giving you a little more credit on that, man.
But Wiley, I just want to say off the top of my head right now, just watching what you just put up, I hope you understand how important it is what you're doing. There's a timetable that I work with saying there's 8 weeks before we start school. And what you're doing right now is you're empowering teachers and giving them resources to help them, no matter where they're from. I just saw where everybody's from. I don't know how many people are from Louisiana, but you have people all over the place. So Wiley,
yeah.
I'm always told you I'm proud of you, but I am amazed by what you're doing right here. And I'm going to tell you now that I know this is here, I'm about to start stealing some stuff, because there is some great resources here that I've seen. And by stealing, I mean borrowing and sharing to other people. So
of course. Look, in education, that's what we do, right? We beg, borrow, and steal. When I first started teaching on my first year, I was this, guy coming down the hall, and I had to sit with a teacher, and she just gave me all of her stuff. She gave me all of her stuff, and I'm like, okay, thank you so much. And hey, we've been off to the races ever since. Thank you again, man. Thank you again. I do appreciate you, man. Look, you enjoy your lunch and everything.
Dinner.
Y'all stay safe out there.
Okay.
All right. Stay safe.
Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, everyone. I am going to end this session for everyone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you for coming.